Welcome to this edition of Street Smart Lab Business Show, where we take on issues that helps entrepreneurs to succeed in all they do. Our core competence is in bringing professionals in different fields that provide services to help and support our entrepreneurial work. We say it over and over. You don't need to go all out about it yourself, struggling about the things that you want to do. There are better ways, smarter ways. When you learn the right thing, the right tools, you're exposed to the right technology, you're exposed to the concepts, the things that prevails in the industry where you need help, where you need support for your business. It makes the work easier because you would have traveled 1,000 years within just a short period with those who have traveled that 1,000 years, providing the services to people generally. Okay, so we are continuing with the show today in this particular edition, and it's about things that has to do with our mental health as business owners. In the last edition, where we discussed mental health and entrepreneurial work, we identified the importance of having to know that mental health issues also affect entrepreneurs. We also identified those common mental health issues, challenges out there. We discussed what we should do as entrepreneurs. And it was obvious that most approaches that people have, where they want to just drink away the sorrow, drink away the concerns for a while, does not help at the long run. It might temporarily suspend things within you, but it will not be a permanent solution. What will be a permanent solution is to get the necessary help when you having understood that these are the issues and the challenges. So today, we continue in this same discussion of mental health, but we'll be taking it another dimension, another way. This time around, we'll pick one of those common mental health out there, and that is depression. Let me just once again introduce and appreciate discussing a professional. The last edition we rolled out is his profile. I mean, somebody who has been in this, a certified therapist, certified mental health professional, certified coach who can help. He has been helping people. He has been helping businesses. He has been helping families. And your story will also change along the lines of what you want if you encounter someone like him. So we're happy to have him again in the house, Mr. Gabriel Ajibade. Thank you, sir, for coming around.
Thank you.
We appreciate your honoring and agreeing to help take this discussion further. Okay, so in the last edition, yes, we talked about mental health generally, and today I want us to talk about depression as one of those core mental health issues that are out there. There have been some instances where I have had encounters with people, especially business owners, and when they describe the issues they went through, somebody said, I was depressed for a period of time. I had this, the depression was so bad, and I listened to their stories and things that happened. We're like, But some of these things also, I passed through them as a business owner. But I can't say that I was depressed. Maybe I don't know what it means to be depressed. Maybe my own understanding or explanation of depression is different. Maybe there's a way I handled it or something. But I'm not downplaying what happened with them. I'm saying that it looks as though there are some things that are common in the business world, especially with how the economy can drive you crazy. So much uncertainty is out there. You know, you meet with people, you meet with policies, you see one policy gone south, and suddenly businesses will be the ones to suffer, or many things that people have invested in. So depression appears to be a great deal. So please, maybe to also help my own experience, that I didn't see it as depression. I just felt that it was one of those business challenges that people will go through, but definitely you come out of it. It can be better. It forms part of your story. Maybe you help us to just give a good understanding, description of what depression is, so that we can learn from that description as a professional.
Thank you so much. It's good to be with you once again. Yes, there's a lot of misunderstanding of what depression is. For instance, trying to differentiate between depression and grief or sadness, for a lot of people, is a bit difficult. Now, depression is a mood disorder. A mood disorder that is persistent, that's accompanied by certain thoughts. Normally, if one experiences a loss, there is a sense of disappointment, there's a sense of grief, maybe a loss in business, or a loss of a business or a friend or a family member. There is sadness. It comes with sadness, but that is not depression. For any feeling to be classified as depression, it must have been a feeling that is persistent for at least 3 weeks. A persistent feeling of sadness that is continuous for at least 3 weeks, accompanied by a sense of low self-esteem, self-condemnation, self-gift, self-loathing, like self-hatred, accompanied by it. Now, if there is a loss, if, for instance, a loss of a loved one, it may not necessarily come with a sense of self-hatred, especially if you are not responsible for it. But this one comes with a sense of self-hatred, a sense of a lot of negative thoughts that is continuous for that length of time. And then, if such a person now meets a professional, we also have depression susceptibility assessment. There are tools that we use that we can now say this person is suffering from depression. But the fact that something bad happened, maybe you are expecting a check of 20 million naira, you got there and the man to issue the check had traveled out of the country. And then you ask, when is the man coming back? You don't know when he's coming back. Whereas that 20 million naira is tied to some other materials that you have to pay for. So you know how sad that could be. But we will not classify that as depression unless if there is a persistent feeling of sadness for that is continuous for 21 days minimum. And then we do a lot of tests, and then we can confirm that this person is now suffering from depression.
So is it possible from this explanation now, and from the current realities that are being faced everywhere, with the challenges in the economic situation, and things are not that palatable and smooth like it used to be, is it possible that business owners avoid depression by any means at all?
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible. You see, as human beings, we are resilient.
Okay.
There is an aspect of resilience in every man. So what will cause depression for this person may not cause depression for this person. So each person, unconsciously, we have coping mechanisms that we use. Some, they use it consciously, but mostly unconsciously. We have different coping techniques. So a person two people can face a similar situation. What will drive this person into depression may not drive the other person into depression. So as a business owner, unconsciously, you could have some coping mechanisms or coping skills that you may not know, that it is in counseling and in therapy, we can discover that coping mechanism that you are using to cope with it. But for anyone who does not have such coping skills, or who employs, we call it maladaptive coping skills, that is unhealthy coping skills, definitely such a person will end up in depression. So it's quite possible to handle it without necessarily going to depression, despite all the uncertainties in our world and in business environment.
Okay. So what are those signs that signals that depression is gradually setting in the life of business owners?
Okay, thank you. Now, as I said, first of all, is a persistent feeling of sadness, mood disorder. First of all, discover that the person may begin to lose interest in basic human activities, normal day-to-day activities. He begins to be careless about keeping himself, taking his bath, or careless about the dressing. He's beginning to lose interest in what he would normally do. He begins to lose interest. And then he becomes unnecessarily irritable. He begins to isolate himself. He doesn't want to talk to people. He doesn't want to relate with people. Then we're beginning to see the sign that this person is becoming, and then he locks himself. That is that when depression is beginning to set in, he locks himself inside. He may lose appetite. He doesn't want to eat again. They can stay without food. But some people, they overeat. Some people, as a result of depression, they eat too much. Because when depression comes, there will be a lot of coping mechanisms will be developed to be able to handle it.
So depression does not make you lose appetite for food?
Some people, it doesn't make them lose appetite. In actual fact, that's when they eat. They overeat.
I will assume that once you are sad towards food too.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. So they can overeat. And then there is low energy. For a person that the sign of depression is beginning to set in, there is low energy, low zest for life. He's even losing interest in the things of life. If the business is losing interest in the business, maybe because the expectations have not been met, there's a lot of pressure that is coming in, he's looking for a way of escape. Once we begin to see this, then we can begin to suspect. You cannot diagnose it immediately that this person is actually feeling depressed. But we can begin to suspect he's no longer interested in normal daily activities. He's becoming careless about keeping himself clean or warm. All these basic things, they show that this person, there's the feeling of worthlessness. A feeling of worthless. What is this? And for some, when it continues, that is when they begin to have suicidal thoughts. Because the thing is that, so what's the meaning of this life? Why am I in this life? What's the meaning of it? I've lost everything. I even don't count. I've become a non-entity. I don't count again. So that feeling of personal disregard, personal depreciation, self-hatred begins to come in. And the tense things that say, please just forget it. So when we see those things, we can begin to suspect that this person is tending towards depression.
Okay, that's excellent, and I love the perspective in which you addressed the issue of depression and the business owner, especially where we are not knowledgeable. We don't even get to know that these are some of those signs that are showing that something is stepping in here. We need to be mindful of your mental health. Okay, so can things like delegating, vacationing, staying out of the business environment, just staying away or something, can they help to avoid depression? Or do you know some of those things that ordinarily the business owner can just engage on a daily basis or occasionally to just avoid depression?
Okay, thank you. Now, for a business owner, the sources of pressure for a business owner usually more than the business itself. It could come from the family. It could come from a friend. Because as a business owner, if you are putting so much effort to build your business, and you are thinking about other things that are suffering, your family, your health, so all those could come together to be a source of depression. So for a business owner, what he needs to do, first of all, what we do for business owners is that we try to ascertain the sources, the different sources of pressure that he's facing from the business world, from the family, from other friends, from associates. We try to establish it. So when you know that, then you know what to do, how to tackle each one.
Okay.
So if the source of pressure, a greater source of pressure is on the business, then we'll try to help the business, the entrepreneur, to fashion out how he can handle the business to reduce the pressure that is on him. Maybe it's excessive, unnecessary expectation. When you are going business, you have made your projection, and you have projected that at the end of the first year, you should hit 50 million naira. And then you are looking at the cost of diesel, you're looking at the cost of transportation, looking at this thing, you discover that at the end of that year, you will struggle to hit 2 million naira.
Yeah.
Whereas you have promised your investors that at the end of the second year, this is what you begin to do. So when we examine it, we can help to fashion out what is the appropriate way to address this and help the business owner along that way. So if it is from the business, we can handle it that way. Sometimes it is from the family. If it is from the family, then it means there's need for intervention in that area. So we'll help also to intervene in that area. But as you said, yes, delegation helps. Because a business owner who puts a lot of pressure on himself because he has to take all the decisions will overwhelm himself. But allowing people to take decisions, yes, the final approval may be from you, but the basic operations of the organization, let others do it. That will reduce in a little bit. Even the vacation, depending on what we discover, it may not be advisable that you go on vacation for 2 months and then forget about it. It could just be that you need to take vacation 1 week, every 2 months, just 1 week, break it into little bits like that. So vacation also, we can help to fashion that. In all, there is no format that applies to everyone. So that is why each individuals have to come. We examine your own operation. We examine what is happening. We examine your business processes, your business methods, and see what fits you. So what fits this person may not fit the other person. So that is the way. But definitely delegation, vacationing, and other things can be very, very helpful.
Okay, so I must say that this discussion is getting more and more interesting. In fact, ever since we started that discussion on mental health, right, to define it and see how it relates to us as entrepreneurs, now that we are also now taking depression, it's getting more and more interesting. So we would crave your indulgence. Crave your indulgence that we will take it further, right? To have this discussion in another session, so that we can drill down into other things, right? The mind is the critical place for everyone. We can't deny that. It's from your mind you decide you want to do a business. From there you decide if this is the business, having seen and observed. That's where you process everything about life. So if the wellness of the mind is challenged, then definitely it looks like the entire business will be challenged. From all you have said, the wellness of the mind is critical, very important. You keep our sanity. It's very, very important. More important than even the money that we are trying to make.
Exactly.
Because there's no point in making the money and we are unable to enjoy the money or have anything to do with money. So we're going to take this discussion further and explore other areas that we can benefit from in the issue of mental health and all we need to know with respect to entrepreneurs. But before we go, I have this question for you. Or I would have this request for you. What advice will you give? Will you give to entrepreneurs out there with regards to depression and their mental health? What will you say to them as they journey on in their businesses? Like we said, yes, the circumstances and the situations around us are there, but we can't deny the obvious, right? We can avoid, but what if those things come your way, right? The things we can do. So what would be your advice to entrepreneurs?
Okay, we live in a world that a lot of things are not predictable.
Yeah.
No matter the graph, the Excel program you use to tabulate your projections and do your business proposal, there are a lot of things that are not predictable. So an entrepreneur should live with that uncertainties. That yes, I've done this for things beyond my control. For instance, government policy, you could make a perfect business proposal, you are running it, one government policy can overturn the whole thing. So have that at the back of your mind. As much as you are making efforts to make progress, to run your business, there could be changes. So prepare for that. Then, as an entrepreneur, don't be afraid of failure. If you're afraid of failure, you will overdrive yourself, overwhelm yourself, and sacrifice your health, your life, your family. So don't be afraid of failure. And that is why a businessman has to learn the principle of resilience, the capacity to bounce back. That if I try this, if it doesn't work, it is not that I'm a failure. It's just that I've not found the right method, the right way to do it. So have that at the back of your mind. And then, entrepreneur, find a therapist. Find somebody that you can always discuss with. You can always open up to. You can, if a friend that is a friend indeed. A lot of entrepreneurs, they live solo lives. They isolate themselves from people who can help them. They only relate with business and money, but it's not helpful. So have a matured person around you, somebody that you can always talk with, you can relate with. There's the woman like that. We had time to speak 2 days ago for 1 hour. She was on call for 1 hour. I did not say anything for more than 3 minutes in that 1 hour.
Wow.
She just opened up all these things in the school that she is running, what is service and that. And after the whole day, she said, thank you, sir. I'm happy that I have somebody I can open up to. So being able to ventilate your thoughts, your feelings, all those things, they are very helpful. So have people like that around you that can support you. So with that, you'll be able to navigate all the challenges that will come your way as an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much for that. Very apt and helpful to help us. I mean, apt and helpful to get us moving, right, and moving in the right direction. You've had it today. You're a business owner. You're out there, and with the explanations he has given, you can see some of those signs that appears that things around you and even your life and your mental wellness is driving towards depression. You have a job, you have a duty to ensure that you don't lose your sanity, your mind, lose anything that has to do with the wellness of your body to the money you need to make. Why don't you take care of that and also take care of the money and enjoy the money? Okay? Why don't you do that? It's important because what does it benefit a man to lose everything and now realize that at the end of the whole thing, what you have amassed or you have spent your money, your time trying to gather, which is your money, you can't still enjoy it. So it's important that we get help where needed. If you need support, we've always said it, send us a mail, support@streetsmartlab.com. You want to reach out to our guest outside this place, he's free to engage with you as a professional and certified counselor, taking you through the steps and using the tools and techniques to help you find a lasting solution. And if it is that you just need us to help you reach out to as many of them, yes, we can also just send us a mail at support@Street Smart Lab. We would connect you with the professionals, connect you with those who will be of great help and help your business and let your business move right to the trajectory that is desired of. We want to thank you so much, Mr. Ajibade, for coming around.
Thank you.
We appreciate the time you have spent with us. Okay, till we'll come your way, we'll be having another session with him because it's an interesting discourse and it looks like we can have more to talk about. Till we'll come your way the next time. I remain yours sincerely, Adeyiga Awomuti. I'm committed to you, the smartest you, on helping your business to succeed. Thank you.